Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
You know, and then it shows like the camera's still on Shatner, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, he just kind of like walks, kind of like just looks
he
really
sits there for a little while,
second.
like he's looking at him, like, you know, I was trying to give you, you know, a promotional speech. You know, talking about how great it is, and your penis rocket.
He offered it to Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks turned it down, right? It was too much money.
28 million.
28 million. Yeah. And Tom Hanks said, "Nah." He goes, "It's not that it would hurt me, but
that's ridiculous."
You know, if you launch me into space, you're making money. You know,
they were going to have Tom Hanks pay $28 million to go into space.
Yeah.
How much did William Shatner pay?
Well, apparently he paid it.
William Shatner paid $28 million?
I have not got any confirmation on that at all. The only thing I have is that I read the article about Tom Hanks. So I just assume he said yes and paid it, unless he realized no one was paying it. So he was like, "Well, let's just take William Shatner up."
I was wondering why William Shatner would have been the choice. I mean, it's William Shatner. It's not like he provides anything to this. You know,
I love William Shatner. I think he was he hosted Saturday Night Live once, and I thought it was one of the best episodes.
I want to know how many people turned it down. Like, you know, like they went to George Lucas and Spielberg and.
Hey, I want to fly into space. It's only $30 million.
Like, even if you're a billionaire, you're like,
ask me, it's free.
Yeah,
you
right.
know? If you're asking me, then I'm assuming
that you're asking me. Man. They want them to pay for the launch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
not Bezos, who was worth.
Here's something I noticed. Yeah.
Bezos, who's worth.
One thing I've noticed about the launches here lately, like you remember when the shuttle used to launch, there was like this big, huge fire explosion underneath it, and then it just barely move and go up, and then it'd pick up speed as it went. But now it's just like this. It's like the blue flame, like your lighters, like the jet lighters. It's like coming out of the bottom, but like way bigger, you know. But that's all it is. It's launching them up. Are they launching on hydrogen, or are they using rocket fuel still?
No, I doubt they're using rocket fuel anymore. I know. I've always heard the blue flame is the hottest part of it, so I don't know if that has anything to do with like maybe the.
Well, there's no big controlled explosion underneath the rockets anymore. It's just like just almost like you're launching a rocket out of your backyard, a model rocket.
I tried to do that once. I failed tremendously. I got a rocket kit and I just couldn't figure it out. And I would keep hooking the wires up to the engine, which was just basically gunpowder. And I kept like connecting the wires so that I get an electric charge and nothing would happen. And so I finally just gave up because I'm terrible with rocket hobby. Anyway, what's going on with you guys? Anything new?
I went hiking today and got lost.
You got lost?
Hiking. I went up there to Squidbilly country, up to Cartersville.
Oh, yeah, North Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got lost on the way down.
Well, I guess now that
did they not have an express trail coming down?
Well, it was confusing. Obviously I didn't look at the map before I went, but
typical man.
You get to the top and there was a loop. You know, I saw one trail went this way, was the east loop. This went the west loop. So in my genius brain, I was like, well, that's a loop and it just goes all the way around like 285. Right. It's just two different directions.
No, there's usually an expressway down.
There was two different loops.
Yeah.
And we took the wrong way down.
You're going the wrong way?
We wound up on completely the opposite side of the park. And it would have taken us at least 2.5 hours to hike back to where the other side of the park. But we were at another trailhead and I saw a truck there and this nice old couple came up and we asked them if they knew how to get back to the other trailhead. And they just offered us a ride.
That's nice.
So you stole their truck.
I was going to ask if you called an Uber.
Yeah.
So you're like, do you know how to
I
get
was
back
thinking
down? And they were
about an
like,
Uber,
yeah.
but I didn't. You got to have an address. You
Really?
just
Top of the mountain.
No,
You can't put trailhead.
Address, please. Top of the
I
mountain.
make them up all the time. I find out what road I'm on, and I'm like, well, you can do it using GPS and just find the address that's in the middle somewhere.
Go, hey, do you know how to get down this mountain? They were like, yeah, and then Wick knocked him out and took a truck. I think that's brave.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Well
they
done,
were. They
They were very weak.
Yeah, they were old, and I mean, the guy didn't put up much of a struggle.
Those are the ones you go after the weak prey.
I just yelled
know?
at them,
I mean,
but they started crying.
There you go. Then you just took their vehicle. I love it. I love it. Just Grand Theft Auto on the mountain.
My faith in
Very bad
humanity
guys,
was redeemed today. Good people.
Because they were helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, these are 3 people, 2.5 people at a trailhead. That, you know, that could have gone either way from their point of view.
Apparently, Scott's opening a grave right now. Anyway, go ahead. Apparently, he's releasing a mummy. So let's give him a minute.
Is he in the catacomb again?
Yeah. So now you got your faith restored in human beings
for the next week or so until I show up to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think generally people want to be good. Well, you know my feeling on it. I think mostly we're bad intention, but good for you, man. I'm glad you made it down the mountain. You weren't a casualty. You didn't get lost in one of those people that they never find again.
No, it's constantly making Squidbilly jokes to people that haven't watched Squidbillies. So.
Don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Jack River Falls is a good hike. It's 8 hours up, but you cross the river. Well, right now it's not because it's cold. But in the summer, you cross the river on parts where it's really low. You just need tennis shoes or rubber shoes. But you cross the river 23 times on this hike. It's 8 hours up, but you cool off. While it's hot, you always hit that river right when you're hot, and it cools you off. And then when you get to the top, that's where you camp. And there's these awesome waterfalls. You go swimming, jumping off the cliffs. And then there's a 4-hour expressway down. That's
a long way down.
Wow. 4 hours?
Yeah, but it's 8 hours up.
Why wouldn't you just go up the 4-way? You can only go down that way?
Well, no, you want to do the hike because it's beautiful. The scenery. You get to the waterfalls.
You got to camp, I would imagine.
Yeah, you do camp.
Yeah.
We camped overnight, and in the morning we hiked down. And it wasn't that far up the road where our car was parked.
Where is it?
Yeah, I don't hike anymore.
It's called Jack River Falls. I can't remember
Georgia
where it is. It's North Georgia.
No.
I'm sorry.
It was in North Georgia. North Georgia.
All I remember is North Georgia because it was a long time ago. I went with Chris and Sean.
I don't hike.
I was about to say last names, but then I stopped. But
I don't exert any energy at all. I reserve energy.
Hiking's really cool because I remember hating it for at 45 minutes. I was like, God, I'm miserable. But something kicks in. It's that adrenaline. It's
like
that
jogger's high.
Runner's high. Yeah. For whatever reason, all of a sudden I was good for the rest of the 8 hours.
Yeah.
I never experienced that before. Huh?
No, I'm just making a joke.
I used to hike up Runyon Canyon in LA all the time, and it was even with the rattlesnakes, it was fun.
Oh, we had a rattlesnake, and there was a solid way up and a solid way down. There was no getting around it, and people wanted to turn around and go back 4 hours in, and I said, "Fuck no, we're not going back." Anyway, because the rattlesnake was curled up, and he was rattling his tail. He's right in front of us. And you could have stepped on him if the lead person didn't notice it. I would have stepped on it. But we ended up using a really long stick with a lot of branches and just pushing it off to the side. And it never struck. It just kept backing up. So
they don't want to.
They're not as aggressive as you think they are unless you step on them.
Well, they don't go around biting branches. So He probably knew what it was. What was in front of him was a
They
tree branch
don't.
that was
But if a branch is aggressive, like if a branch tries to fuck with it,
right. If it was giving off
they're
some
gonna
type of
bite
heat
it.
signal, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, they would at
I
least
hate
like they would strike it up. I mean, it was a long branch, so they're not gonna. He's not gonna hit us, but it was a freaky experience. But
I knew this guy that was in
I hate
Vietnam,
snakes.
and he was on a trail, and there was a snake in the middle of the trail. So they called in an airstrike on the snake.
What?
Yeah,
In Vietnam?
yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
about where I'm at.
Like $50,000 worth of bombs. Just
right, that's why we lost the war.
We were after the snakes. I
would have probably done it, and I hate snakes.
I hate snakes, man. You know what's funny though? As much as I hate snakes, I will spend hours watching YouTube channels about people who own poisonous snakes. And I don't know why. Like people that have king cobras and stuff. And I'm like addicted to watching snakes on Facebook. Or on YouTube, sorry. But I don't want to have anything to do with them. They absolutely terrify me. It's like my biggest
I hate
fear
them with
snake.
mine too. Like
I just, God, dude, they freak me out. I don't know if it's like just the no arms thing or just that they, are of the devil. I just hate those things, man.
Oh, they're of the devil.
Good. Yeah. I remember when we lived in Cobblestone, Shannon used to always bring his up in our apartment. It was huge. It was a python. You know Shannon, who I'm talking about.
I know a couple. We're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, the one that would probably own a big ass snake.
Yeah.
He lived in Cobblestone too. This is like, not long after high school. This is when Carl lived down there. Yeah. He brought it into Carl's place too all the time. I think Carl told him to get that thing the fuck out of my house right now.
Yeah. So we were going to do something different tonight. Let's go ahead and set it up for next week. So we were going to talk to, you said that the appropriate term that she would want us to use is a witch. Is that correct?
Witch.
She's a witch. Yeah, she floats. Okay. She, her name's Cammie. She's very, very intelligent, very nice woman.
She turned me into a newt.
she turned Wick into a newt, or she plans on it. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out tonight. That was a plan for tonight, but it didn't work out. But she's excited about being on the show, so we'll get her. We'll get her on the show. We might have to make an adjustment.
Yeah, time adjustment maybe to kind of accommodate her schedule, but we'll do that. I mean, whatever she needs. But we were supposed to do this on Halloween night, and then Wick didn't feel good. He had the green apple splatters. He had the tummy girls, and so
attractive.
And
I don't know what he had. He had something. We're just glad that
I still got it. It's just a cold, as you can hear.
Still could be COVID, but anyway, moving on.
It's not COVID. Splatters. It's not COVID. You can hear it in my cough.
If you make it through a week, COVID. Then it's not serious COVID anyway. So we weren't able to do it. So we were going to do it tonight, and I guess Cammie, the schedule was a little off, and so we're going to do a tarot card reading, I believe. Is that right, Scott? Was that the plan she had?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, absolutely. And then I thought we could get into other stuff too, but
sure,
the tarot card reading would have been the highlight.
Instead, I am going to read Sam's palm.
I'm not Sam.
Not much there. I probably heart attack in a few years.
Let me see your palm.
Okay.
Let me see your palm.
Put your palm up.
Does it have to be the right or the left?
Oh my God. Oh, that's not good.
Or are they the same?
That's not good.
That's not good. Let's just move on.
Well, this is my left one. Hold on. My right one might be better. Oh, it's worse.
Oh, it's even worse.
Have y'all seen this?
No.
Have y'all seen the movie? It's called The Vampire's Kiss.
No.
It came out in '88. It has Nicolas Cage in it.
No. Nicolas
you know,
Cage
I'm
did almost
big. I'm a
everything
big
of it.
Nick Cage fan, but this is an '88 when he was big. But this guy recites the whole alphabet in a scene, and it's amazing because he's the only person I think in the world who could recite the entire alphabet and keep it interesting. So yeah, he's talking. He's in an office and he's talking about filing. He goes, "You file it in simple alphabetical order." You know, he's like, and he goes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay?
Okay, so one thing I wanted to do was random. All right, so one thing I wanted to do to set up this thing before we get off task. Scott already tried to drive the bus off the cliff. Hold on, before we do that, that'll happen eventually.
I did a decent Nick Cage impression.
That was pretty
You
good.
did do a decent Nick Cage impression. It just
wasn't
was
great.
completely fit into the wrong. So when you talk about alphabetical order, you just put Z right behind B here. All right, so I just want to ask you guys to set it up before we get off task. Too bad. What are you when you're going into this tarot reading with our guest next week? Hopefully, all that will work out. Are you both skeptical about these things? You know, I know we'll talk about a little bit next week, but just setting it up.
I believe them entirely.
Oh, I'm skeptical. I'm not a big believer, but she already knows that.
Yeah.
I'm open-minded to the fact that I could be wrong. It's just on the surface. It's one of the I've got to be totally convinced.
But she knows you're a skeptic.
Yeah, she already knows. She said it won't work if you're not open-minded, and I go, well, I am open-minded. I'm not totally writing it off. I'm just saying I don't know.
It won't work,
and it's never been proven to me.
What does won't work constitute? That's what I'd like to know.
Maybe she won't get a good reading on you. I mean, I would assume that not being open-minded means she probably can't get a read on you. Maybe you've got a wall up. Maybe because you're not being free with your information or your whatever she reads. Maybe that's just not translating into the cards, I would assume. Listen, man, you know me. I'll fall for anything. I don't care. And I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying I'll do it. Like, I don't care.
I will believe anything.
I'll believe virtually anything if you give me good enough proof. I mean, I'm just somebody who will admit that. So that's why I try to steer away from like conspiracies, because I don't want to go down those rabbit holes and be like, man. So yeah, I'm interested, man, because I kind of want to see what she has to say. I don't know that I've ever gotten a tarot card reading before. Do you know that? I mean, obviously she's probably not a medium, but I think all that stuff's kind of interesting. Whether or not it's true, I don't know. I mean, I think anything's possible, So I'm kind of looking forward to doing it. I was kind of bummed tonight, but next week we'll have a tarot card. Yeah.
She was totally in for. I work tonight, which I normally don't do, and she was totally in, but it just didn't work out when she got home.
Okay, well, that's okay. Cammie, if you're out there, don't worry about it. We'll see you next week. We're really excited. We're really gonna dig in and have a good time. Talk to her, kind of find out some stuff about witchery and witchcraft.
Witch.
And so that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll get that hooked up. But yeah, that'll be next week. And I guess maybe we'll have to go on a little early for her. I think what do you think, Scott? Like, she just has a strange schedule or something?
Yeah,
or she just
I think it's about like having the tarot cards in the house. Where she lives, and
I've got some right there.
There's no there's a low level of approval.
I have
it would be better if like she could do it, because there's a place where after work everybody kind of sits around and they roll silverware or whatever. They're socializing, and she can do it there.
Okay. Okay.
which would be
I think
around
that is
like
kinda
9 o'clock, maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock.
it is kind of I bet it would be kind of hard to practice that kind of stuff if people around you in your household disagree with it. But hey, I went through that with Ozzy Osbourne, man. My parents were so anti-heavy metal and thought
Whose
that the
wasn't?
devil was in Ozzy's music. Turned out they were right, but it was good. There was some good guitar riffs there. And so I did a lot of sneaking heavy metal
Speaking of
in
Ozzy, have you
to my
seen
home.
him recently?
I would
No.
know, but I would imagine
He's
I
a
imagine there's
different
no
dude.
improvement.
No, he's better. He's much better.
Is it like?
Does
What do
he
you mean?
does he
Like,
speak without slurring?
Yeah, that was not. I don't think that was actually drugs and alcohol. Well,
I
it
think it
was
was
drugs.
medication.
It was
Huh?
medication. Yeah, that's what it was like. The antipsychotics he was on that caused the stammered speech. So now he's
really?
more like what he actually is, and it's far more articulate and much smarter than you ever thought.
What?
And yeah,
How long has he
it's kind of a
been
bummer because you want him to be
on?
Ozzy that you grew up with.
Well,
So the Ozzy from the Osbournes.
Mm-hmm. Which
I
was
don't.
just
I'm
he
not a
was
fan
gold.
of his wife. I don't like Sharon Osbourne. I
I'm
don't
not
care.
crazy about her either, but
Did they get
I think,
divorced?
no, they're still together.
I think
Oh,
she's
good for
pushed
them.
him. No, he'll never leave her. But
No,
I mean, it's
Well, at this
sometimes you
point,
think he's, you've seen him and it looks like he's in terrible. You know what I mean? And it's
he's
like
not in
another
good
tour,
shape.
and she's his manager.
He's had a bad couple of years. He had a
Yeah, and I mean,
fall.
you just keep shoving him there. Like, here we go
He
again.
wants to.
He's
He
coming
wants to perform.
concert again. Yeah, but has he seen himself the last couple of years? It's pretty bad, dude. And
I don't know. I
I don't
saw
know.
a video of
It
one
just,
of his last Sabbath shows, and they were just killing it.
really.
Just little,
I
yeah,
haven't
just
seen him
absolute.
since his.
But that was like 5 or 6
I haven't
years
seen
ago,
him
I
since
think.
the old change. Yeah, I haven't seen him since he's gotten things updated and whatnot. That's good though. It's
Well, he's
good,
got
man.
long term, so
Medication, man.
and he's sober now. He's got a few years.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, medications. It's tough to, realize that you got to be on them, and it's tough sometimes when they screw with you. And I don't know, American medicine, man, it's awesome. Yeah,
I think it all comes from Europe. All the
what's
medication,
that?
all meds come
All the
from
medication
Europe. I don't think there's a big med company in America.
Are you about to go open up the esophagus again?
The esophagus.
What are you talking about? My mouth?
It's the loudest noise when you go outside. It's like,
Oh, you hear that door squeak?
And then the mummy runs across.
Yeah.
It's fine.
The
I just
sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus.
I thought you were opening up a mummy's tomb or something.
Yep, I am. So.
Nice. We already put our Christmas tree up,
I work tonight, man.
so we're doing that. I think, honest to God, I think he goes outside to pee. I hate to put that on public social media, but I'm pretty sure he goes outside to pee. But that's kind of the art of being a man, being able to pee wherever you choose, as long as nobody's looking, right? I mean,
well, as long as
that's
nobody's
kinda like
looking is the
as long as nobody's
is
looking.
the imperative.
That could end up being a big problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he just here he comes again.
Hey. Yeah, there's a lot of caffeinated beverage that gets ingested when you work in a restaurant. So. Yeah, and then I get home pretty much just in time for this. You're frozen, Sam.
Did you guys do anything fun for Halloween? What'd y'all do? I know. I'll be back.
I went to Summer Grove and trick or treated. Well,
Did you guys do anything fun for Halloween?
Took Cameron.
No, I didn't. Didn't do anything.
So you went out and actually raped it.
Yeah, we went to this neighborhood near the house, and man, they do it up. I mean, there was a 15-foot T-Rex skeleton in somebody's yard. There was a dude dressed as something playing drums and dancing. I highly recommend that neighborhood if you're around the Sharpsburg area.
Summer Grove.
Summer
Where the rich people live. Rich people. So let's stick to
Sharpsburg, home of the
let's
rich.
stick to our format. Yep, home of the rich. Braves win the World Series. How do you?
Thank
I know
you.
Scott's ecstatic.
When did this
I
happen?
know Scott's ecstatic about this.
Last week.
Well, when our show was on last, so we didn't do it. Yeah. What?
No, it happened. It was
so the
what,
parade-
Sunday night. Was
No,
it
it was
Sunday
like-
night or was it Tuesday night?
It's Tuesday night. They
Tuesday
lost
night, yeah.
Sunday.
This would be the
Tuesday
first
night.
time we'd be able to address it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys go to the
Braves,
parade?
man. It was like really if you fought like because I know Sam and both of you don't follow the season as far as baseball and basketball, but you're if our team's in, you'll watch the playoffs. But this was such a amazing season to watch. Like the people that got hurt, and then the fact that they're under 500 at the All-Star break, and he goes out and becomes a buyer.
Yeah, it is kind of remarkable what they did.
Rather than a seller. You know, at one point they're 7.5 games out. I think they were 4.5 when they started trading. And they just happened to be in a division where they were able to stay close, even though they were right under 500. And they go out and they get these players that are they're proven, but they're unproven in the seasons that they're playing now. You know, especially like Solar. And
man,
who ends up being the MVP of the World Series.
That home run was unbelievable. In game.
Oh yeah, out of the stadium.
Yeah, I imagine they'll re-sign those guys, right?
But
they'll be re-signed.
The question is, do they re-sign?
Well, I think Freddie Freeman is the focus, and he's going to get a lot of money. So as far as re-signing Solar, I think Duvall and Solar are key. Probably Duvall will be key before Solar, but because he won the Gold Glove today for right field.
Yeah,
Duvall did.
Yeah, they robbed that home run in the playoffs. Man, that was awesome. Remember that? Did you see it?
Did you guys?
Amazing.
Did you guys?
It was just
watch
like
the parade.
Like I've seen a lot of baseball seasons, and they've not all been magical. They've all been most of them are predictable, and just blah baseball. But this season was magical. It was just amazing to watch. The things that they did, the way they came back around, and the plays that they made in the playoffs to win this game. And what was it? The first series they played, where the first 2 or 3 games were all walk-off home runs at the end.
Yeah,
it was thrilling all the way through.
Yeah, I think it was against the Dodgers. Their first 2 games were walk-off home runs, or not? They were walk-off hits.
Yeah,
but walk-off wins, which are that's exciting to watch.
Yeah. It was fun. I don't usually watch baseball. It was fun to watch it, and I am a wagon jumper in the playoffs.
Me too.
If the Hawks, if the Hawks are in the playoffs or whatever, I'm on board. One thing I'll make sure I don't do, other than Georgia football, I really don't jump on the bandwagon late and then pretend like I've been there the whole time. You won't see me, hoisting, Atlanta signs everywhere. But I do. I mean, when they are in it, I feel like I've earned the right to watch after suffering for so many years in every sport.
The curse is over.
Yeah, so it's fun just to kind of jump in at the end and watch it, and they did a fantastic job.
And then the Falcons beat the Saints today.
Yeah, they did without Calvin.
I did not watch the game. You guys watched the game?
No, I just watched the highlights.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen the highlights yet, but I know what they won with like a field goal with 4 minutes left.
4 seconds left.
Sure did.
4 seconds left?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it was tied. No, it wasn't tied. They were down by 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's his name? Winston, was he hurt? He was hurt, right?
He was hurt,
Yeah, he's got
but their third stringer, he was hurt last week when they played the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And their third stringer came in and beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
And so
he was a starter in Denver for a couple of years.
Yeah.
This puts us at 500, right? 4-4.
Yeah, we're 4-4 now.
Okay, because we lost last week. So
yeah, this team is a confusing team.
Well, this team has got a new coach, so you got to look at it as a one that will progressively improve, or he's a dud. You know.
Well, they look like contenders one week, and then they just bomb the next.
Was it here or there? New Orleans or
no? It was at New Orleans.
Oh, whoop that ass in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. Staying on the sports topic, Aaron Rodgers is in trouble for maybe bending the truth a little bit about his COVID-19 shot.
You mean straight up lying?
Yeah, it depends on if you ask Aaron Rodgers.
Did he take a snort of methamphetamine instead?
If he is working an angle in an answer, that's lying.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to fine him. Apparently, I don't know if they're going to. They're talking about if he continues to not get vaccinated, they're talking about maybe taking draft picks. I don't know. I mean, that's.
Do the Packers have a vaccine mandate?
No, I mean, this is where it's confusing.
I have no idea.
If he didn't get the shot,
I mean, it would be the NFL,
right? Apparently that was fine.
The NFL doesn't have a mandate, though.
No, NFL doesn't.
I don't think the MLB does, because several people left with COVID-19 this year, and then they came back after they passed all the protocols.
Players are getting COVID-19 in the NFL. I mean,
organizations can have a mandate.
Aaron Rodgers has COVID-19 as we speak. That's how he got caught. But the whole deal is that he is supposed to follow like these mandates. If you don't have the shot, then you have to wear a mask. You have to keep 6 feet away from people.
Right.
You have to carry on your day like you don't have, obviously, the vaccine. You have to be pretty cautious because you can carry it to other people. So apparently the problem is that Aaron Rodgers has been, seen breaking every rule there is for the people that are supposed to take extra precautions, going to parties, being out in public, being in the room, quarterback's room, or the coach's room, locker room, not wearing a mask and all that.
Urban Meyer.
So he's getting fined. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I don't know unless he's gone through. He says that he's allergic to 2 of the shots, and that
people have gotten COVID-19 who have had the shot.
Oh yeah, but
sure.
But he said he didn't say he was vaccinated when they asked him. He said he was immunized, which
means he's had it before.
No, it means he can. That's a whole range of immunization. You can be, immunized for for measles, chicken pox, all the stuff that we got the vaccines for.
He misled people about.
He misled people. He misled. He did it on purpose.
I don't know. I don't know if he did it on purpose.
Sex for money.
As much as I think
sex for money.
I don't know. Maybe Aaron Rodgers kind of thought he wouldn't get it because he's kind of arrogant. I
heard he stole catalytic. He stole catalytic converters for meth money.
What?
I heard he stole catalytic converters for meth money.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
I'm
actually kidding. This is a meme I saw, and it took a picture of him the way he looks right now, with his eyes all crazy and his hair's greasy and long. And it says Aaron Rodgers looks like someone who steals catalytic converters for meth money.
Now that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. You know, when you just lead with him stealing catalytic converters for meth, I got a little lost. I'm not going to lie. Now that I know it's a meme, it makes a lot more sense.
I like to not make sense first.
I got you. I don't know. I feel like he should have. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about mandates? Do you agree with them or disagree with them, or do you think a NFL team or a corporation has the right to require vaccinations, or do you think that's wrong? I mean, what do you guys think about mandating?
I think it's murky, but I kind of believe an employer pretty much has the right to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about a government, but I don't know.
Scott,
it's a whole different.
I was listening to you guys.
Okay. Are you still in kind of catalytic converters for methamphetamine?
Yes.
Okay. Makes sense now. See, we didn't even need a meme.
That's what he's doing when he goes outside. He's going outside and stealing
that's what he does.
converters.
There's a catalytic converter right outside my door.
All right. You've been working
right now.
I wouldn't even know where to begin to look for one.
I don't know.
I think it's in the gas tank.
It's in an engine, right?
I would just probably take the spark plug wire
and take them
and try to sell it to the guy who wants a catalytic converter.
This might be the most ADD show that's ever been done here, but we're all over the place.
It's hilarious, man.
Yeah, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. I think they should be allowed to require it as long as they. I mean, it sounds like they gave him an out. He just didn't really take the out. You know, it's like, hey, dude, wear a mask and stay so many feet away from people.
Which begs the question. I mean, do all they have to do is say they have been vaccinated? They don't have to show any proof.
Well, I would imagine when he got COVID-19, they asked for his, vaccine card.
Right, but if they're going to establish protocols within the building, you think that they would ask for proof that you've been vaccinated.
Not Aaron Rodgers. Remember, Aaron Rodgers.
Are you supposed to carry that with you?
Yeah, I carry mine.
You supposed to carry that card with you?
I need to find it.
Well, it's like it's just a piece of cardboard. It would turn into.
I have a vaccine card and not a Social Security card anywhere. I don't know where my Social Security card is.
You go down to Griffin and get one.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. Yeah, so I just think Aaron Rodgers was gone, all spring, whether he was going to play or not. And I think just when he showed up, they were like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just get out there and throw balls, So I think probably the protocol was, let's just get him out there. Let's not throw another wrinkle in this debate we're having. Let's get him out there throwing the ball, or maybe they just didn't even care about the COVID thing.
You're probably correct.
It's like, don't do anything to upset the apple cart. Just he says he's got immunizations. Just go with it. But they're talking about fining him now, which he's got the money. It's always funny when they fine football players or baseball players like $10,000. You're like, my God, dude, that's like us getting away with something and somebody going, all right, man, pay your $5. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, and you know what? Did y'all hear about this?
Did you hear Terry
Los Angeles
Bradshaw
Raiders
go off on
wide
him?
receiver? What's that?
Did you hear Terry Bradshaw go off on him this morning?
On the wide receiver or on
no
Aaron Rodgers?
on Aaron Rodgers. He ripped him.
I was going to ask you guys
on
if y'all heard about
or just like talking
over this.
Yeah, I'm probably on the show.
On the show,
Terry Bradshaw.
But did y'all hear about this Las Vegas wide receiver
Henry Ruggs the
Henry
third?
Ruggs?
Yeah, that's
man,
crazy.
156 miles an hour, I think, or something like that.
Did you see the video?
Does there video on the
There's
accident?
not video of the wreck, but there's video of the car that he hit going by, and then a couple of seconds later, he just boom.
Oh my God! I mean,
he's done. That's he's going to prison for a long.
He's
time.
not done. They call it DUI with involving a death. or injured.
He's going. I had a
Wait,
friend.
what happened?
His max is 20 years. Max. They think he'll get between 2 and 5.
I had a friend that
2 and 5.
I knew
Think
somebody
about
that it happened and 2 fatalities. He got 25.
Yeah, 25 years for 2 fatalities.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, dude. That should be life, right?
Oh,
I mean, that's wild.
likely what's going to happen is those are 2 different charges that add up to 25, and they're going to run concurrent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be shorter.
Man.
Huh?
Guys in Vegas. But you know what? You put a football team in Las Vegas. I don't know what,
But who
you
did
got to
this?
take responsibility. This is a
Henry
wide
Ruggs
receiver
III.
from Las Vegas.
Played at Alabama.
With the Raiders. Yeah, played at Alabama. He sure did.
Mm-hmm.
And was a number 1 draft pick. And was it a Corvette going 100? It doesn't matter. He was exceeding 130, but I think it was like 150 something miles an hour.
156.
It was an incredible amount of speed, like public street, just unreal. At like 3 a.m. As soon as I saw, not to make light of it, but as soon as I saw that he was in an accident at 3 a.m, I was like, "There's nothing you're doing good at 3 a.m. Nothing. There's nothing an athlete who is in the middle of their season is doing good at 3 a.m." And hit a car. He plowed the 156 miles an hour. He's in a Corvette. Plowed the car. When the police got there, he was outside of his car. Did he have a passenger that survived in his car?
I think it was his girlfriend, wasn't it?
Girlfriend. And then the other person was trapped inside a burning freaking car and died. I can't imagine anything.
That happened to my neighbor. He was in high school. He flipped his car and it caught on fire and he burned alive inside the car.
Oh my God, dude, that is terrifying. Terrifying. Like that, or your car going off into like water and sinking
And this was
and not being able to get out. Oh my God.
Just being trapped in general.
Oh my God. Yeah, just being trapped.
This was like a couple of years after a gas leak went off and their house blew up and fire killed his father.
Jesus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's incredibly terrible luck. I mean, my God. Like, what are the odds of that?
So it left the mom and then there was another sibling.
But I mean, what they'll do, they'll probably plead the sentence down because he's got some money. And there'll be a civil lawsuit.
He's going to be an example.
That's going to be rough.
Yeah.
All I know is max is 20 years, I think, and I read something where they think he'll get between 2 and 5 years. So theoretically, I mean, you know what? They've had football players that have done the same thing and returned to football. They had a guy that was driving. I don't know who he plays for now, but he was driving, and he had been drinking, and he hit a guy crossing the street, like ran over a dude crossing the street, and he got 2 years, and he's back playing football currently. I can't think of who.
Wow, who was that?
Yeah, you may know who it is.
He got the same thing as Michael Vick.
I guess
2 years.
Yeah, basically.
And he's back playing football. Had a civil lawsuit where, of course, he paid the family millions to get them to do a non-disclosure statement, and now he's back playing football, making millions again. I don't know. It's terrible, though. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, see the photos of that car just burned up, and there were people that were trying to get to the woman in the car and get her out, but they were like, the flames just got so hot we couldn't.
Ugh.
I mean, that's the worst part, being there and trying to help and just knowing you cannot.
There's nothing you can do.
You may not go home to your family if you stay. You have to get away. And holy God, man, I just, that's terrifying to me. That's terrifying. God, going back. Excuse me. It's just a show. Anyway,
yeah,
it's just a pet. With some dumb podcast that South America rates as number 1 podcast in South America. No big deal. Also, you're not a Dexter guy, but Dexter restarted.
Yeah, I heard it.
I wish you would give it a try. I know. I feel
I
like
did.
even if you tried it and like it, you may not.
I
You could
did.
try
It
it.
was just
Couldn't do it.
it's implausible, and I do want to watch that one season with John Lithgow. It's
Ooh, talk about Dexter.
yeah, there's just too much.
Yeah.
That was the best season. You know what? They're not. All of them are actually pretty good. Like Jimmy Smits, I think he had the season before. Yeah, I think he was season 3. His was awesome, and like I wouldn't really. He's not a big attraction for me as far as like, hey, Jimmy Smits is in this season, so I'm gonna watch it. But he was great. And then it was John Lithgow after that, I believe. And that was the best. He was a Trinity killer. He was absolutely terrifying.
He was amazing. Yep.
Yeah.
So Wick, you gave it a try. It just wasn't your thing. You found it implausible. It's forensics lead lab guy would be a great serial killer to cover up his.
It's just too neat
it's
for me. It's just too much plot. That's just.
I don't know. You have to watch. I think you have to watch the whole thing to appreciate even Lithgow's season, because you have to know what's happened to Dexter as far as his love life and his family to really appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good though, but that season definitely, like, if you think you can watch it and not see the, I mean, honestly, if you watch the season with Lithgow, you may like find some interest to go back, and it may actually spark a little interest to go back, maybe. But anyway, the reason I bring it up is because they started the first season like this. It's been off for years, and I think it's one of those roles, that an actor does, like Michael C. Hall, where it's like, I know that he was kind of complaining that people kept coming up to him, wanting him to like choke them or, sign butcher knives and things like that. And I think it was just like really weird for him. And I think after so many years, I think he thought he was going to go on to
not getting work.
Yeah, I think he thought that he was going to get some.
So many years of not working, you're like, okay, let's go back to Dexter.
Because it was like, I'll never do it.
What was it? Okay. Well, what was it like watching that? You said that it was cool to see it all back, but it reminded you of Arrested Development coming back.
Okay, so let me hammer that out into a straight line. So yeah, I did think it was I thought it had the same kind of atmosphere as the old Dexter. A lot of things have changed. I felt like the atmosphere of it and the environment of it was as Dexter as it used to be.
Because didn't he die?
No.
That's he didn't die? He got arrested.
No, that's why he's still doing his thing.
I can't remember what happened at the end of the original series.
Okay. All I can say is
I know his sister knows.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that's one of the worst finales of all time. That show was really, really good. And Wick, if you ever do get us to watch it, skip the finale because you'll hate me. Because it's so terrible that somebody like you're gonna really hate it. It's a terrible.
There's been a lot of that going around.
It's stupid. It's hard. It's really. I think it's very hard to come up with a satisfactory ending to a great show. Because I've never seen anyone do it except maybe 2 shows. I would say Sopranos did it. And I would say definitely 6 Feet Under did it.
That was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the end of Sopranos. I got bored through Sopranos a lot.
Well, that left like a lot of it was open to interpretation.
Sure.
And that's what exactly happened. Because
but
reflected back on something that he said is like, when you die, you won't know it or something like that, I believe.
Right.
And
Deep
it just
words.
went black. That's why it went black. It was referencing that statement.
Yep. So to go back to Dexter, stay on target here. Yes, it reminded me. I'm afraid, and Wick, you'll get this. I'm afraid that as the years have gone by, and as things have changed, it'll feel like Netflix's version of Arrested Development. I love Arrested Development. Wick, I know you're a big fan of that comedy and you enjoyed it. But to you, when it went to Netflix, they've been gone for so long, so many years, they all come back. Did it feel the same to you? Because it did not to me. Arrested Development.
No,
when it went
there's something about the timing of things, where people are in their lives when they're doing it.
Yeah,
what's generating the comedy in their personal lives. And then, you get a few years down the road now, all these people aren't hungry anymore. They've got money.
Yeah.
They're a little more comfortable.
It seemed like the writing was different.
I liked
the
it.
writing, the comedy was a little different.
What was David Cross's character's name?
Tobias Fuke.
Tobias. Yeah, he was as funny as ever.
Yeah. I just didn't get the same vibe from Arrested Development when it went to Netflix because they've been apart for so long. And maybe you're in the pocket, you're kind of in the zone as an actor at that time. And it's been a lot of what the characters of the people who were in Friends say. Look, we come back, we're probably not in that pocket anymore of zim zim boom boom boom. It probably takes an acquaintance again. It takes timing again, like you said. It takes the writing to get familiar again, because you're kind of going off and doing different projects. And I just think with my fear with Dexter is that because it's been gone for so long and it's come back, I'm a little worried that as the season goes, it won't feel like Dexter. It'll feel like something completely different. And so I'm a little worried about that it'll do that, because they of course showed some flashes of what's to come. And I thought, man, that's going to be a little bit strange. It doesn't feel Dexterish. What it looks like's going to happen. So I don't know. I mean, I think he was gone for so long, and he thought he was going to do stuff. And he's a good-looking guy. He's a good actor. I think he just thought he was going to do some bigger things. And I can only think of one or two things he was in. And I think it was like, oh yeah, you're Dexter, and you'll always be Dexter. And he got kind of typecast maybe. And then he kind of just
it is a tough business. And there's only like a few categories you can fit into as an actor, and you're either a movie star, really, or a character actor. And then if you're a character actor and you get a hit television show, then you really can't be a character. Very seldom does that translate to a character actor into film, except for Alan Alda comes to mind. He transitioned really well.
Well, I guess
he still goes back
Tom Hanks
for
the rest of his career could have been casted as a comedic actor for the rest of his cario
until the early 90s.
Right. And now,
Would you say Forrest Gump was his first no, that wouldn't be his breakout. It would be Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
which was a serious role.
I think Big kind of opened doors for him though.
He did that so well. I love that movie. I've been on that piano, the foot piano in New York. It's at I think it's RCJ Toys or something like that. I can't remember the name. It's a weird name for a toy store, but it's like 3 stories, and at the top is the piano on the floor, and you can play. And there's a long line for it, but I waited, and I was behind. I was the tallest person in the line.
I did it once somewhere, not in New York. It didn't work at all. It was terrible.
No, I did the actual one that he was on.
Keys and you'd be like, didn't work at all.
This is the one that he was actually on, though, in the movie.
Oh yeah, I got that. No.
Yeah.
Do a little chopsticks.
I had to do it because that's one of my favorite movies.
Right. No, I'm interested in what the new Dexter will be. I am. I just kind of worry that it's going to be maybe, it kind of goes different from what I'm used to with that. Because I binged it not but a couple of years ago. And I know a lot of people watched it when it was out. It took me a long time to come across it. It usually does for shows like Breaking Bad and all that. It wasn't until Breaking Bad was done until I really sat down and watched it. And I guess a lot of people are like that. But so
that's
Dexter to
current.
me it's only like 2 or 3 years old in my life, because I sat and watched it probably way after it was done. So it'll be interesting. I'm curious
It
to know
was
how many
running about
Showtime
this-
subscriptions. What's that?
Went up because of it.
Oh yeah, because I had to do it because Emily's like, "Oh, it's new Dexter," and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right." With a Hulu, you can do 3 months at $4 a month, and then it goes to $10 a month, which is crazy for Showtime. But anyway, because I can't think of anything else on there that I want. But
Right.
I did it. I was like, all right, so I'm just wondering how many subscriptions I got from that bank this week because
Do you get the live
you're not
TV
getting
from
any
Hulu?
previews.
From Hulu?
What's that?
Do you get the live
Yes, I
TV?
do live TV. Mhm.
So you do. It's
Yep.
like a $60 a month.
Yeah, but I don't have any cable anyway. Our cable was like
No, I know. I mean,
$120.
that's the option if you want to get rid of cable. As far as if you want
So-
to get sports.
So sports was a big problem. Now it's not, but it was in the early stages. So what I did is I just got tired of paying cable. I think Wick does something similar. I got tired of paying cable, and now I have Apple TV. Wick, you don't have Apple TV, do you?
No, I don't.
Lame. Anyway, you're the Apple guy. I figured you would. But no,
I don't either.
I thought YouTube live TV was really, really a lot better, but Hulu was a little cheaper, and I already had a Hulu subscription, so it was only going to be like, $30 something more for me, and versus like 70 for YouTube. So yeah, I'll do that. And now I just add like sports packages onto it now, which are like $10. And I'm still way under the cable. I'm probably for all the services, because I have Peacock, I've got Paramount, I've got everything, HBO Max, all of it, and I probably still stay under $70 for total. And that's probably
still
with my
half the
internet.
price. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's with my internet being $50. So I probably pay, well, that's probably not true. I probably pay about $30 for all the services and then 50 for the internet. But before it would cost me $130 for cable and then another 50 for the internet. And so I'd be paying almost $200, man. And all these cable stations are going to streaming, shows and stuff. I mean,
they know cable's dying.
Yeah, cable's done. So now you get
Well,
live
I mean,
sports.
why would you still subscribe to cable? I don't understand, unless it's just sports.
Security. I think it's just what people have always been used to, and it's internet TV is still very new to a lot
have
of
it
households.
because it's just the norm.
And sometimes it's an age thing. Like my parents I don't know if will ever get rid of cable, just because it's just.
I'll tell you
staple,
this because I'll get on the chat with you guys and you're in bed asleep, but commenting on something I'm watching that I never would have
I feel like you're watching.
because I'm scrolling through the cable channels and it is there. It's on. Like last night I watched Schindler's List, and man, it's still a great movie, and I haven't seen it since I rented it from Blockbuster.
Yeah,
and 2 tapes.
The problem with streaming is exactly what you said. You with cable TV, you're used to a guide. You go through the guide and you pick up something. You're like, oh, that looks interesting. You read the information. You're like, oh, wow. With streaming, the problem I feel like is it's almost like music now, where there's so many outlets, there's so many things that are being released, there's so many different formats and subscription bases that you almost miss probably really good stuff because you don't have any way of finding it. You know what I mean? Like, unless there's an ad, maybe in the like if I log into Peacock and there might be an ad for a new show coming out, I might watch it. But other than that, like I probably miss a ton of stuff that's great. I will sit there and I will go through my streaming services. I'm bagging on it now, but I'll go through them and I'll sit there and go, I can't find anything to watch. And my wife will be like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything that interests me either. But it's just because like there's no funnel. You know what I mean? There's no. It's like radio stations back in the day. Radio told you this was good, and you're like, okay, well that's good. It's Nirvana, that's good, or Pearl Jam, or whatever, or REM. Okay, I like it. I'll go explore it further. Now you don't really, and TV was kind of that to begin with too before streaming, but you don't really have that when you go straight to streaming, just like you don't have radio stations playing popular music anymore. And so you're kind of out there just like, I'm not sure where to go. Does that make sense? I don't know where to go to find something I might like. I wish they just had like a Sam Stream service. It was like, here's all the stuff that you like, and you might like all of this. And I'll be like, hey, yeah, okay. But
I'm surprised they haven't figured
well,
that
that's what's
out
cool.
yet.
Also, like I said about cable, is when you're panning through the what's playing now. It's something every night there's something on one of the channels that hits me. It's like Boogie Nights the other night, and
well, I'm really weird about watching movies again. I told my wife this. I was like, because we were looking for movies to watch, and we watched Primal Fear yesterday. Which
great
never really seen. Yeah, it was very good, very good. Wait, did you like Primal Fear?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a good movie.
That was Edward Norton's breakout.
Yeah, great in it. Absolutely great in it. And so I'd never really seen it. I knew of it, but I didn't really see it. So we sat down and watched that. And so we were going through movies, and it was like, oh, we should watch this one. I remember that, and I'm just like, I don't want to watch something I've seen again. I don't know why I'm like that. But even if I'm like, oh, I don't remember it, I saw it, I don't want to see it again. Is that weird?
I don't know.
I
feel
like that's strange.
I'm like that with a lot of movies, and then there's a few that I'll watch over and over again.
Wolf of Wall Street is worth watching again. I would say, what's Django Unchained? That's worth watching more than once. A lot of Tarantino's movies are.
I saw Django Unchained at the theater, and I'll never forget.
Sorry?
I saw Django Unchained at the theater, and I'll never forget one of the times I've laughed so hard in my life in a movie theater was when they were like bitching about the hoods they had on and they were like, it was Don Johnson, right?
Oh, right.
And they're like bitching about
Jonah
the wife
Hill totally hoods.
Like your wife put the whole they're just like arguing. Things like that crack me up because that's like a real life argument that people would have in that moment. You know what I mean? Like
my wife works really hard on these hoods.
My wife worked really hard on these hoods. Like you got a feeling for her. That's just funny to me, man. I laughed so hard during that. But
well, I think he said, Jonah Hill, I want you to take this scene and do something with it.
Yeah,
but it was definitely written. It wasn't improvised.
It's one of those things where I don't know. Like there are so many good movies out there that I've seen one time that I'm just like, I know what happens. I don't want to see it again. It drives my wife nuts because she's like, well, it's a good movie. When'd you watch it? Like E.T. I have yet to watch E.T. again since I was like,
I have no desire to see E.T. again. I don't know why.
E.T.'s not repeatable for me. However, Ghostbusters is very repeatable for me.
See,
Back to the Future.
My son watches it constantly.
Huh?
Although my son's a very big Ghostbusters fan. We're going to see Afterlife as soon as it comes out.
Oh God, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to be disappointed now.
Probably, it's been a long time. Although that movie is supposed to be part 3, right? Like we're supposed to ignore that there were women Ghostbusters, I believe.
No, that's a whole different other thing. And then they tried to make a political issue out of it, and then it got squashed because nobody wanted to fucking see another female Ghostbusters.
Well,
not with those women, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's not even. I mean, yes, you're right, but it's also like it's been done. Like I'm so over the remake situation of non-originality. And let's just take a really great movie that is frozen in time and perfect the way that it is, and let's just redo it. And I just think it's such a cheap way to get money. And I mean, I get that's Hollywood's thing. No, you know what I mean?
What's cool about Afterlife is it's an evolution of the originals.
Right. So it's a part 3, and we're supposed to ignore that there are women Ghostbusters, which I'm okay with because I never saw it. I didn't want to see it, and it had nothing to do with women. It just had to do with the fact that it had a lot to do with women. Okay, but it was. I don't want to see a whole female cast. I don't. You know, but I'm a guy, and
Well,
I'm old
there's
school.
one of the Ghostbusters is female in this one. Egon Spengler's
That's fine.
is Egon Spengler's granddaughter.
It's fine as long as it makes sense. You know what I mean? I just think that the remake probably was just let's just make it women and try to me, I think it's cheap. Does that make sense? I mean, am I wrong? It just feels cheap to take something that's already been done and say, let's just put a demographic in it of females or gender or whatever and see if people will do it all over again. And it's like, but it's already been done. Let's just, why don't you do something completely different? You know, I don't understand that.
They can't,
because it just seems cheap. You know, seems like cheap money to me, and I just don't want to pay it.
It's not that they can. It's just it's already a proven way to make money. I mean, you take something that's made a lot of money in the past, and you just remake it. Like the greatest.
Do those remakes make a lot of money?
The remake of Poltergeist, that was so bad. Made money.
Yeah,
they're safe.
Yeah, it's like a safe bet. Is what it is,
and that's why movies are dying.
That's
why streaming is just beating the shit out of movies and has been for a while.
Because they're doing original shit and taking chances.
Yeah,
God, Midnight Mass. I killed that in one night. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was good.
I didn't know Mike Flanagan did it. If I had known that, I would have watched it sooner.
Yeah,
the same guy that did Hill House, huh?
Yeah, Haunting in Hill House was good. Yeah,
it was.
I didn't watch Bly Manor.
He also did Dr. Sleep.
Oh, really? Is Dr. Sleep good?
The director's cut is good.
Okay, I downloaded the director's cut, but I think the director's cut's on HBO Max.
Is better. I wouldn't say it's not a great movie, but
because the original sucked.
Like the original theater release.
I didn't like the version I saw.
Is that supposed to be what happens after?
It's Danny as an adult.
Okay. Yeah. I never saw the original anyway.
It's what?
What?
My wife gives me
The Shining?
Yeah. Don't know why.
What
y'all need to do is make me a list of.
I had a hard time with it. It was I didn't totally get into it the first time I saw it, but then I got more analytical with it and started trying to read into it. I mean, it had a creepy feeling the whole time. Then I realized why. There's a lot of things he did in the background. He messed with continuity and things like that to freak you out. Which is what Mike Flanagan does too, who did Midnight Mass.
Yeah, I just never got into it, man. I mean, the It's too. Like, I remember seeing it on the TV movie, and I was like, man,
I thought it was good.
A lot of people love it. I thought Salem's Lot was great. I mean, there's some stuff I like.
I think the original, it was more close to the book. Left out the orgy, but like that's understandable.
Oh, all right, yeah. But I don't know.
Book, but like it was more like the book than the movies that just came out.
Yeah.
As far as the characters,
I just never got into The Shining. All right, you guys got anything else? We're getting close here. Anybody else want to throw something out there?
No, I think we've
ready for
filled
nap.
the airwaves.
Wiki's ready for nap.
Man,
this is his bedtime.
Being sick gets you, it just creeps up on you, and you're just suddenly like,
makes you sick.
You can't get rid of it. Yeah, I know.
The other night I was trying to.
Being a trooper.
I was watching TV and I was like, am I having a stroke? I can't stay awake. I'm not, and then I would just fell out. It's like that sick sleep where your body just seizes you and says, this is what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Now.
Yeah. Shut down, overload, overheating, motors running too long. No oil in the engine. Got to shut down.
No, you're dying now.
I did that one time where I fell asleep in a lazy boy, and this is a God's honest truth. Fell asleep in a lazy boy and woke up, got startled and woke up, and my legs were asleep, but I didn't know they were asleep yet. And I got up and fell to the floor and thought I was having a stroke for a minute. Like I had about a
That's kind of
nanosecond
what
of I'm
I
having
felt
a
like.
stroke.
Yeah. Where you
it
totally
just-
accept it. You're like,
Yeah, you're like, this is it. This is I'm done.
this is,
Man, I didn't think I was going to be like this. I really didn't think I thought I was going to be more of a fighter, and I'm not. And I'm done.
Yeah,
for it.
it's amazing how quickly you just like acquiesce. You're like,
You
yep, this
just
is it.
surrender.
Yeah.
I swear that straight. I told my wife that she thought it was the funniest thing because I conk out in this lazy boy, and then like something startled me, and I woke up and I stood up and the legs were asleep, and I just went bam. I was like, I'm having a stroke. Oh my god. Well, it's been fun. Oh well, I'm blacking out. And I was like, wait a minute, my legs are coming back. Tingles are coming back into my legs.
Dude, I sprained
thought,
my ankle
man.
like that really bad once, getting out of bed with a foot that was asleep. It was like a high ankle NFL sprain that lasted like 3 months to get over.
That reminds me. We talked about sleep paralysis last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Recently, like I had it, and I just made myself. You can barely move, but I made myself roll out of bed, knocked the table over that was next to my bed. But then when I hit the floor, I was still like paralyzed, and I'm like.
For those that missed it, Scott got fondled by a ghost.
Oh yeah,
ghost.
Yeah, ghost.
So that's a plus one.
That's a plus one. Yeah. All right, man. Next week, man, I'm looking forward to it. Just let me know. We may go a little early to accommodate the situation. I'm looking forward to getting my tarots read. By this young witch.
I'll talk to her and figure that out.
Yep. Next week it'll be a lot of fun. I hope everybody has an awesome week. I hope you guys have a great week, and look forward to Sunday. We'll do it again, and this time we'll have something to do, so that'll be good. May set the world on fire because we actually have something to talk about, so that'll be great. Guys, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I can tell he's sleepy. Poor Wick, he's sleepy. All right. Bye, everybody. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
See y'all.